Today on Forbes, how Charlamagne became a media god. On a chilly night in November, radio personality Charlamagne Tha God is roaming through the aisles of Midtown Comics in New York City, captivated by the heroes and villains that shaped his childhood. He says, quote, "Escapism at the highest level. Everybody's here for a purpose." Dressed in a black pea coat, a white hoodie, black jeans, and tan Timberland boots, this isn't the media vigilante that listeners of The Breakfast Club have come to expect over the past 15 years. The 47-year-old comic book nerd leafing through original graphic novels of Batman, Superman, Wolverine, and one of his favorites, Luke Cage, is more subdued and introspective as he considers his public and private personas. Charlamagne tells Forbes, quote, "I'm like Smart Hulk. When Bruce Banner learns how to combine himself with the Incredible Hulk, he's Smart Hulk." Then, using his real name, emphasizing the second syllable of his first name, he adds, quote, "I'm Leonard McKelvey. Charlamagne is now an extension of that." But Charlamagne is the name the world has come to know over the past few decades, beginning as a radio intern at Z93 in Charleston, South Carolina, and continuing through his time with radio host Wendy Williams before joining the syndicated Breakfast Club show in 2010, alongside DJ Envy and Angela Yee. Across more than 100 stations on the iHeartMedia network, he can be equal parts trash talker, voice for the voiceless, and an advocate for mental health. A balance, as he likes to say, of, quote, ratchetness and righteousness. In other words, he's not afraid to go there. Charlamagne has railed against corporate DEI, calling it, quote, well-intentioned, but, quote, mostly garbage. And among the celebrities who have been named the, quote, donkey of the day on The Breakfast Club are Diddy, quote, con artist, Nicki Minaj, quote, stank and nasty, and Post Malone, quote, not my cup of mayonnaise. He's also an equal opportunity offender when it comes to politics. After House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries referred to him as, quote, charlatan the fraud, he responded by taunting Jeffries as, quote, Chuck E. Cheese Obama. And while he called for Joe Biden to drop out of the presidential race several months before he actually did, he also frequently refers to President Trump as a, quote, fascist, which led the insulter-in-chief to refer to Charlamagne as a, quote, racist sleazebag. Speaking about Charlamagne, Jon Stewart of The Daily Show says, quote, no fear. He has an incredible ability to distill conversation to its salient center, and it's not a contrivance for clicks, it's real. Bob Pittman, chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia, adds, quote, does he say stuff that a lot of people don't agree with? Of course, but that's Charlamagne being true to Charlamagne. And he has been consistently rewarded for that outrageousness. In August, Charlamagne signed a 5-year, $200 million extension with iHeartMedia. The deal keeps Charlamagne on The Breakfast Club for the near future and puts him in the same league with Joe Rogan, who signed a multi-year extension with Spotify for a reported $250 million last year. Locking in Charlamagne is vital to iHeartMedia, which struck a deal with Netflix to stream The Breakfast Club, among 15 other podcasts, starting in 2026. But more important, Charlamagne's new deal will help him expand his Black Effect podcast network, a joint venture with iHeartMedia. Charlamagne says, quote, when I was looking at doing my new deal with iHeartMedia, I was like, I don't want to just be talent. I want to create this podcast network. I want to create the BET for podcasting. Since 2020, Black Effect has launched more than 60 shows, including with former NBA stars Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and entrepreneurs Damon John and John Hope Bryant, becoming a vital large part of iHeartMedia's revenue stream. iHeartMedia reported podcast revenue of $448.8 million in 2024, up from $252.6 million in 2021, and $101 million the year prior. Charlamagne says he wants to add 10 more shows in 2026. Charlamagne adds, quote, I want to create 100 versions of me. For full coverage, check out Jabari Young's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.